what we say. Don't hurt them, I'm coming. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million We know who we are working for. Just say the word and MI5 break down the door. Don't trust him, he's bluffing. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more. Sky is falling. Here come the angels dressed in black. It's not quite clear who will live and who shall on the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more. On the table, that was my half of the deal. In the briefcase, now we need 2 million more.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Tuesday, and I hope that your week has started well. As for this live stream, I had a catastrophic failure with my USB dock. Stopped working at about 2 minutes to, and this always happens. Something goes crazy just before we go live, but I then restarted it and we are now hopefully working, and I'm hoping that you can see me and hear me. I thought that maybe I would have lost all the sound because of my interface that goes through that USB dock, but it's fine. I could hear that, and it looks like the levels are okay and you can hear me and all that kind of stuff. So we are live, and hello to you guys in the live chat room. Let's see who's in there tonight. We've got Kevin, Muriel, Bob, Glenn, Mark, Debbie, Jennifer, Laura, Steve, Dawn, Zena, Alison, Tammy, Billy, PM112, Bob again, Christine, Pam K36, Howard's in there, Terry, Tortordo, Porco, Carl, Mimi, 321, Frank, Pamela, and then it's gone through the top of the screen. But I got through quite a lot of them there before hitting failure. And Barbara says, hello Phil, purple lights. So that's one thing that I've forgotten to do. So purple lights are now on. But in my defense, I did remember to change the actual lights, which is the whole reason that you can see me in the first place. So yeah, put a new battery in those. So they're good for the live stream, but the purple lights, forgot to do that, but they are back. So now that everything's running fine and we know that we're live, let's get the patrons up on screen. Of course, they make this all possible in the first place. Massive shout out to you lovely people at the bottom of the screen for making this possible in the first place. You know who you are, and I say that they are the foundation of everything that I do, because they are. They allow the live streams and the analysis videos and everything to happen. So yes, huge thank you to you guys at the bottom of the screen. Now, for tonight, we're going to be aiming for another record on a Tuesday night live stream. We've had a record on the Saturday night live streams for probably maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks in a row. So we've been just smashing the records for the live streams, but let me get this up on screen and to see, yeah, that I have changed it. It is 415 now. I believe last week was 410, but we hit 415 on Saturday. So we're aiming for this on a Tuesday, and I know that Tuesdays are a little bit more difficult because it's like a school night, as they say. You've got work tomorrow, and yeah, a lot of people sometimes can't make it on a Tuesday, but here we go. 415, that is what we're going to be aiming for. So if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be massively appreciated. And we'll see if we can get to that goal. If we do hit the goal tonight, we're going to be having Phil Jam number 116. So it gives you an idea of how many jams we've had. Exactly 116. So let's get the likeometer up on screen. And when the live stream started, I was chasing this around the screen with the screen capture to make sure that we could see the number. There it is, 176 likes so far. So you could hit that thumbs up as you come through the door. That would be great. And yeah, it's going to be way too complicated for me to work this out. Apart from if you get to 190, I'm looking for 2 more people. It means that we're looking for 107. Oh no. 125 now, I think. Maybe. Oh, I always second guess myself when we get into the maths. But if we get to 200, that'll be even better, because then it means that, but then again, 200 means that we're looking for 115, and then plus 5 is 120. So we're now looking for 118. That's enough of the math. Hang on, that's not right. It's 415, not 315. So now 215 gives you an idea of how big. I'm so used to the target being an easy number to work out, and I'm always saying that it's like 130 we need, or 150, but now it's over 200. So here we go. It's going to be 200 coming up. What's that? 206. So there we go. I was about 100 out. But this is the problem when the likeometer keeps on getting higher and higher, and the goal gets higher and higher. I'm just not used to the numbers being so high. So if you can hit that 200, 200 likes, one person just there clicking it. Unfortunately, that won't work. One person cannot have 200 likes. It's just 1 like each. So yeah, if you could use your thumbs up token, that would be much appreciated. That's the maths out the way, even though we started off horrendously wrong, but we got there in the end. What else do we have? I can see that there have been donations in the super chat window, so thank you guys for those. And as I always say, you don't have to donate, just watching is great. Hit the thumbs up, introduce yourself into that live chat room, and then we get to know each other. And you can upload pictures of you modeling any merchandise if you so wish. If you are a Facebook user, you can head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook, which is where we look at the pictures, or the pictures that have been uploaded to that page. I then get linked to it by Laura, and we show them on the live streams. And we have just one picture tonight for Picture Corner. But let me lean over and grab the mug to have a plug of the mug. Yeah, if you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, then you can head over to spring.com, and there's a link in the description below. You might have the tray underneath this video, and you can click on any items under this video, but it's in the description anyway if you just want a link to click on to take you through to the merchandise. So, the other thing that I've been doing, and I don't think you can see it on the screen unless I zoom out massively. I don't know how far. Aha! There we can see it. You might be able to see in the corner here, if I can get my pointing correct, that we have, well, it's not a new guitar, it's my old guitar, my Ibanez Geo. But I've been I've been waiting for an opportunity to hang it up on the wall, or at least to fix the bracket in order to, hold the guitar on the wall. So yeah, I finally found a little bit of time in order to do that, because it's literally just been on the floor, resting up against the wall for probably about 2 years. So that's something I've been meaning to do, and I did it. So there you go. You guys over on Patreon will know with that update that I gave yesterday that I finally got the other guitar up on the wall. So at least now floor space is at a maximum, and the guitar isn't going to potentially fall over at any time, unless it's going to fall off the wall. But hopefully it won't, and touch wood, and touch wood, and touch wood. That's what we say here, or knock on wood. I know that people say in other countries, and the USA, I think you guys say that. But touch wood is not going to fall down, and it's been up there for over a day now, so it should be all right. And it does seem pretty strong on the wall. And they give you warnings about, oh, don't put it on this type of wall, don't put it on that type of wall, and only put it into brick walls. But I think the problem is not so much that other walls won't hold the weight of it, it's how people attach it. And I think you just got to make sure that you do it properly, and then it's fine. I think I prefer to go into something that's not brick anyway. But enough of the guitar talk, at least the brackets for holding guitars talk. Tonight, I think we're just going to have a brief troll corner, even though there have been a few. I haven't been making a note of them, but I can remember at least one, and that's all we need in order to get into troll corner. So we'll do that a little bit later on in tonight's live stream. We also have the cover video. Of course, we always do that on the live streams. And tonight is between Johnny B. Good and You Know My Name. And it looks like Johnny B. Good is in the lead with 52% of the vote. So yeah, for whichever one of those songs you want to hear, obviously my version of those songs, then you can click on that and have your vote. Let me just mention about the whole donation situation. Between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window. Almost said PayPal there. Through the super chat window, 45 to 60% goes to YouTube, and on PayPal, between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal, and you can find a PayPal link in the description below. But like I said, you don't have to donate. Just watching is fantastic. Getting into the donations that have happened in that super chat window. Thank you for these. Paul donated $2 and says 348,000. Yay! Spike those likes, all y'all. So this is something that I know that I've forgotten to change, because there we go, as if it never happened. So we have now hit 348,000 subscribers. So thank you everyone for not only hitting the thumbs up, but subscribing and hitting the notification bell. You'll need to do that in order to get notified for all of the videos in the future and the live streams. So there we go. I mean, another ridiculous number, and I mean, it's crazy to think that we're 2,000 subscribers, even though 2,000 is a hell of a lot of people. Whenever I look at the subscriber count, and I'm just going to get rid of that so that the people stop cheering, but whenever I look at the subscriber count, I always think of that many people. And I was on 1,500 subscribers for probably a couple of years, maybe longer than that, when I was out gigging, and you might get kind of 3 or 4 people that will subscribe and follow you across social media, all that kind of stuff. But the number, counting it up 1,000 by 1,000, 1,000 is a lot of people. And I always think, I try to imagine 1,000 people in a room, and that's a huge number. And I know that we're 2,000 from 350,000, which is again just a ridiculous number. But then I was thinking that when you get to 100,000 on YouTube, you get one of these things. Which shoulder is it over? That one. The silver, I don't know what they call it. The silver award is what I'm going to call it. But you get the silver award for reaching 100,000 subscribers, because not a lot of people managed to do that. So, I mean, that was great, hitting 100,000. But then to think that we've not only gone to 100,000, but to 200,000, but to 300,000, and yeah, 348,000. The more you think about it, the crazier it gets. But also, here's another thought. When we got to 250,000 subscribers, that was amazing. And we're almost another award, or another effective award past that. So yeah, lots of people. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing. And I know that there are a lot of people watching because of the amount of messages that I get and the emails and all that kind of stuff, which is great as well. So thank you guys for that, for interacting with the videos as well. So let's just jump into that super chat window again, because Steve has donated $5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, what types of harmonies do you find best for rock? Which do you like to use? So thank you for that, Steve. And this is something that I never think about, and I pretty much never think about anything theory based, or which harmony should I do here? Should I do a third or a fifth or a seventh? My brain doesn't work like that. I kind of hear what I want and then I just do it, regardless of what that is. Very similar to the fill jams that we have. I just kind of play, and I'm not thinking about anything theoretical when I'm playing. It's just having a sound and then matching that sound with the sound that you want to make. So that's what I do in the fill jams, and that's what I do with vocals and harmonies. I hear a line, and that's the one that or at least when maybe I've recorded my lead vocal, and then I just experiment with different sounds of different harmonies, and I just find the one that I think suits the mood best, or hits a particular frequency with me that I think, oh yes, that's the one that I should be singing. So yeah, I never really think about the intervals or the harmonies, and thinking of them from a theoretical point of view is not something that enters my head. It's all about the sound, just the ball of sound that you kind of listen to. It's finding that I don't know, that key that kind of fits into that space. It is weird, because I know that a lot of people just do the theory first, and they say, right, with this particular line, it's got to be this note. Whereas, yeah, it's just like a language, as I say in lots of the videos. It's speaking the language first, and then if you want to write it down, fine. But you don't need to be able to write things down to communicate with people. It's like I've said this in another way before, but it's just kind of popped into my head now, that when you meet somebody and you say hello, and they say normally hello, but writing music is like somebody saying hello and then you saying, oh no, sorry, can you write that down first please, so that I can read it? And they go, oh, hello, and they write it down, and then they're reading, go, oh, hello, when they could hear the hello to begin with. So they say, well, what's your name? So, oh no, sorry, can you write it down so that I can read it? And then what's your, oh, hi, yeah, my name is, but that's what music to me is. Music is something that's a language first, and yeah, if you can start to break apart that language and understand it, then you don't actually need anything else. And I've mentioned about great songwriters, great musicians who haven't been able to read or write music because they understand the language. And yeah, I mean, when you're communicating with somebody else who can hear, you never write stuff down for them. It's all, there's nothing that gets in the way of that. It's just I'm making noises that, like now, that you are hopefully understanding, and then you're breaking them down in your mind as to then understand what I'm saying, so that at no point are you reading anything out of what I'm saying. It's just a kind of authentic, and I don't know, it's just a communication that is old as time. And even when we talk about expressions and saying something with a particular look, you read into, body language and all that stuff. So, language is even more than just talking. It's about making movements and reading somebody's facial expressions, and all of that stuff is totally irrelevant to writing down the words that we're saying. So yeah, to me, the communication is all about the sound, the voice, the expression, and working with that. And then if you want to write things down, so that people can play particular pieces and just do the same thing every time, then that's absolutely fine. It's the reason that we write things down, in order to keep a record of them. But it doesn't mean that you need to do that before speaking, or in this case before writing music or making music. So that's the way that I see it, and hence why I don't pre-plan anything harmony wise. Thank you for that, Steve. Orlando's donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. And the messages, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. So thank you, great idea. But thank you guys in that super chat window for the donations. Great idea. Hit that thumbs up. We'll see where we end up. 277 likes so far, which is a good start, I think, for 24 minutes past 11. But we are aiming for a new record tonight, so we're going to have to try and drum up as many thumbs up as we can get. So Orlando's just popped in again with a $5 donation, so thank you again. The message is, I'm meeting a friend for Mexican food. Taco Tuesday. I will watch the replay. Ciao. So thank you for that, Orlando. And did I say that right? Taco or taco? I can't remember. It's not a food that I eat, so hence why I forget how to pronounce it. So I'm going to stick with taco rather than taco. And I think somebody tried to explain to me how to pronounce it, but the way that they wrote it out was incorrect, because they wrote T-A-H. So I said tar, but it's supposed to be ta, as in ta, T-A. So I don't know. I might be getting that the wrong way around. So there we go. Oh, Pam K36 says taco, but taco sounds too posh. So there you go. Taco. It's like saying scone. Like here, there are foods called, there's something called a scone. You have scones and cream, but some people say scone and cream, which is like a posh way of saying it. Maybe if you're very kind of upper class, maybe the royal family might say scone, but for me, a taco just sounds it. Mimi321 says it is the other way. Say ah. So there you go, taco. Yeah, it just sounds like it's too posh for a TA, a ta sound, taco. So I don't know why there's an H, why it's pronounced with an H, but I don't know the food, and obviously there's a reason for it being pronounced differently to how it's spelt, but there you go. Even maybe an R in there might help, a tar, T-A-R, taco. So anyway, Jennifer says in Spanish the T is usually not pronounced. Okay. Arco. So maybe it's originally, I've never heard that before, somebody calling a taco an arco. So anyway, in Spanish, now I used to do Spanish, so como te llama? That's what's your name in Spanish. Obviously it probably isn't understandable because of my accent, and I haven't done Spanish since it was secondary school. So what are we talking there? What, 25 years ago, something like that? Maybe no, more like 30 years ago. Anyway, that was there's definitely a T in that, and it was T-E is how it was spelt. So, and that is Spanish. So I don't know, maybe in particular things like in English, maybe the T isn't pronounced, but certainly in that it definitely is pronounced. So anyway, Jennifer says, oops, I meant that the H is not pronounced. So but why is it then spelt T-A? Is it originally spelt T-A-H-C-O? So again, it just gets even more complicated. Maybe there is an H in there, and that's why. So, and then Steve says, tacos are Tex-Mex, not true Mexican. Here is the States. We all say taco, or here in the States. So there we go. We've got different then foods of Mexican and not Mexican and USA versions. And yeah, like I said, I'm just going to move on from that and try and remember that there's an imaginary R or H in there to get the pronunciation correctly or correct. So anyway, back into... So thank you for that, Orlando, for starting all that off. I'm going to be jumping into the PayPal window because there have been donations in there. And first of all, there's a donation right at the end. Actually, it's about half an hour after we finished the last live stream. And this came through from Harriet, who has donated £15. So thank you for that, Harriet. And the message is YouTuber Phil. So, that is the message there. And, of course, that was on Sunday, early morning time. And then we had another donation. And this is from this morning, 20 minutes past 9. Nicole donated £10. So thank you for this, Nicole. And there's a message with this. It says, hello, Phil. The days passed. The feeling persists. Music bring us together. Better language, kiss and rock, nobody like you. So thank you for that, Nicole. And Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for this, Tammy. The message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 348,000 subscribers. How do you stay motivated and persistent in your music career? Keep on rocking. So thank you for that. And I think it's just because it's easy to do when things are going well, because of... And whenever I'm watching interviews, I saw one with Dua Lipa, who's a singer, and I'm sure I've heard a lot of her songs around, not that I know that it's her that's kind of recording them, but I saw an interview with her recently, and I'm leading into the answer to this question, but when she was 11, she moved to Kosovo, and I think that's where her family or her parents were originally from. So she'd been 11 years in the UK. So she'd very much grown up as somebody from England. I don't know exactly where she lived, but she then went to Kosovo for 4 years and then moved back to England, but without her parents, because she wanted to pursue music. And over in Kosovo, it meant that she couldn't do that because they didn't have music festivals or anything like that. So, she came back to England, but she already knew England. And this is where I did see people who, on YouTube and Instagram, they just take particular sections of this interview, and people say, oh, I can't believe it, Dua Lipa moved to England when she was only 15 without her parents, thinking that she's been in Kosovo for her whole life. But she hadn't. She'd just been in the UK and then went back to Kosovo for 4 years and then came back to the UK. So it wasn't like a strange place. And she obviously was fluent in English because that was the first language that she learned, or at least the language that she's been speaking for 11 years. Anyway, back to the point. So she moved here when she was 15, and then she wanted to pursue the whole music thing. So, when she's 16, 17, then I'm assuming that she finished off her school education. And then she signed her first deal at 18. So this is when I think that of that kind of time period of 15 to 18. And when you're young, you think time is really... Well, you think 3 years is really long. Like there's one band who said we tried for a year and it just wasn't happening, but then we got our break. And they thought that a year was a long time of trying to do something. So the reason that I can stay motivated and persist is because, I started my first band when I was 19, and it was probably when I was, 34 or 35, the thing started to get a little bit of momentum. So there you go. That's about 16 years. So that's longer than 1 year. I imagine saying to this particular band who really tried hard for 1 year, I said, Imagine if somebody said to you, you've got to do that again 15 more times. And then you might start to see, or get a little bit more of a following. I'm sure they'd have said, oh, we're not going to do that. But this is the thing, that you just keep on pushing forward, see where you end up with it. And yeah, I mean, here we are. And I think it's quite good that I'm here and you guys are here, and it's all happened organically. Nothing's happened where I got a break or suddenly everyone now knows about me because of something else. It's just me doing what I do, and you guys, getting involved and joining me on live streams and, spreading the word about the channel, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's great. But I think it's easy to stay motivated and persist with things when you've got people that are, you've got an audience now. So there are messages now to answer. And there are a lot of messages. Some people would say too many messages to answer, but I am keeping up still, just about. So that's the difference, that when you don't have the following and the community there, you're constantly just throwing things out into the world, hoping that people might notice it or something might take off. And yeah, it was about 16 years of doing that. So, but it's one of my mantras, if that's the right word, to not think about doing something, do it when you think about it. Because lots of people have great ideas and think, oh, I'm going to do that, or it'll be great if I did that, but they never do it. Whereas, if you have an idea and think, right, I think that would be a good idea. If you can't start it today, do it tomorrow. Make sure that when you wake up, you then, put things in place in order to achieve that. Talking about that, yeah, I'm still working on something else behind the scenes. Oh, and another thing that happened, it's like a million things. I mean, other than me hanging guitars and sorting out a bracket for the monitor that I have as well, which I did at the same time as the guitar. Other than that, I had a message from Billy McLaughlin, and Billy is a guitarist who I did an analysis video on recently where he's tapping onto the guitar. And yeah, it was great to hear from Billy. And Billy let me know, and this is from Larry, by the way, over on Patreon, who sent a message to Billy, I believe, and then Billy got in contact with me. Anyway, yeah, Billy sent me a message that, just thanking me for doing the video, but then also, saying that he's checked out my music and he loves it, and is very complimentary in his email, which is great because somebody like Billy checking my music out and liking my guitar playing. And he did say if I was available to do anything in the future, then he'd like to work together. And I said, well, I'll play over the top of anything given half a chance. So I have said that to Billy. And yeah, anyway, that's just something that is potentially in the future, but there's lots of things like that could potentially happen in the future. It could be quite cool to do something with Billy guitar wise. So anyway, yeah, getting back to what I was talking about. Yeah, lots of things going on, lots of messages, but I'm also working on that thing behind the scenes. And I might make a video on that. I was going to say next week, but we're already in next week because my mind is saying, oh, maybe I'll do a video on that on Wednesday or Friday, but that's tomorrow or a few days away. So yeah, maybe on Friday, I'm not sure, or maybe next week, but I have set up something in the background, or I am setting something up in the background that's to do with the whole pitch correction and that petition, which I believe is still in the description below, so you can click on that if you want to go to that petition about pitch correction. But it's something in order to help with that, and maybe another way around that other than having to sign a petition and then getting it into government or all that kind of stuff. So I'll keep you guys in the loop over on Patreon as always as to what I've been up to, but what it means for songs, pitch corrected songs, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I think that we've got quite a good community here and a decent number of people. So it means that if we have something that we can start to implement as something that at least something that people can go to who want to know whether a song is pitch corrected or not, and somewhere that artists can go, which I think is really important. If they think that it's important people know that they're genuinely singing, that they are hitting these pitches and they're not using pitch correction. So for that whole authenticity, transparency thing. But that's something that I'm setting up behind the scenes that's going to potentially be able to sidestep government legislation in order to implement something that then can be started to be used by people that we can get it out there. But I'm going to do a designated I've decided I'm going to do a designated video on this because it's going to take me too long to try and explain it in a live stream because we've got too much to do on these live streams. But thank you for that, Tammy. And back to the PayPal window. Paul donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Paul. And his message is straight up donation. So thank you for that. And Lisa has donated £3.78. So thank you for that, Lisa. The message is congratulations on 348k. I love your channel. Thank you, Phil. Rock. So thank you for that, Lisa. And Debbie has donated £10 and says, hi, Phil. Congrats on reaching 348,000 subscribers on songs like Dust in the Wind. Who decides to add in orchestra parts like violins to the song? You are awesome. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that, Debbie. And I mean, this is something that I guess more with artists or just vocalists, singers, they might have less of an input for a song, especially if it's a cover of somebody else's song, but they might have less of an input because the strings is something that producers used to add. So they'd get in a string section that they wanted it to sound a particular way, and the record label and management wanted it to sound a particular way, so they get in a full orchestra, and the singer obviously just provides the voice but doesn't have a lot of say in the overall production of the song and what it's going to sound like in the end. But when you're talking about a band with songs like Dust in the Wind, because there's more than one person that's going to be having an input in the song, I think that's then more of a collective decision with the band. I don't think that it's something where you might have the band members there who are all playing the song and then somebody comes in like a producer and says, oh, I want there to be violin in this piece at that spot, because then the band members will say, yeah, but this is our song. So we're going to do it how we want to do it. So yeah, I think with bands, it's more so the band members that might think that, oh, strings is going to sound nice in this section. And yeah, with more solo artists, unless they're heavily, involved in their own production, that tends to be more of a record label, producer, management overseeing situation where they think that strings is going to be something that's going to obviously help the song to appeal to more people. So, or hit a particular, I don't know, a particular listener, because that's what record labels are doing all the time. They're trying to hit that demographic of, right, this is what it needs to sound like to hit this many people, and the more people we can hit the better, so we need it to sound like this, or we need it to sound like that. Another song that has been really popular, we need to have that sound on our song. And then the singer will say, oh well, yeah, but I don't think we should. And then the singer is obviously told to be quiet because it's nothing to do with them, they just sing the song. So I mean, sadly, that is the music industry, but that's the way that it works. Thank you for that, Debbie. And we are now up to date in that PayPal window. So thank you guys for all those donations. And there's been another donation, or two actually, in the super chat window. Wisu has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is $1 for me, Wes, and $1 for... Oh, so it's Wes is the name rather than Wisu. So thank you for that, Wes. $1 for me, Wes, and $1 for each of my parakeets. D'Artagnan, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis or Aramis. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say Aramis, even though it sounds wrong. Dart is green, Art, Port, and Arm are blue. So thank you for that, Wes. And yes, the shorter names are a lot easier to pronounce, especially Arm, and they're easy to remember. So thank you for that, Wes. And Karen has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, just for fun, if you pronounce bean as bean, how do you all distinguish a bean you eat from bean somewhere? Couldn't resist. So thank you for that, Karen. And yeah, it's all about context. If you say, where have you been? I don't think you can mistake that for a bean. Or I'm trying to think of a way that you could misunderstand for somewhere you've been and eating a bean. Or planting a bean? I don't know. Anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And F8 Tributo, does that say, has donated $20. So thank you for that. And that is their first donation in the Super Chat window. So thank you again. That's why it's got that big number 1. I don't know whether you guys can see the big numbers on the screen, but I've got a big number 1 next to that. And the message is, please check sheriffs when I'm with you for pitch correction. So thank you for that. And yes, I'll make a note of that. And I mean, this is something that also behind the scenes, as you can imagine, I get so many messages asking me to check out this song and that song and another song for pitch correction. And they're just too many. If I was doing all of the videos that have been requested on pitch correction, then yeah, I won't live long enough in order to cover all of them. So yeah, when thinking about the pitch correction videos, that is something that this thing that I'm doing in the background, people could use it for that, even though it's not primarily going to be for that. But if people just wanted to know one particular song and they really wanted to know whether it's pitch corrected or not, they might be able to use the service that I'm going to be setting up for that as well. But yeah, it's sadly just one of those things that pitch correction is happening all over the place. I tell you what, let's jump into Troll Corner, because while I'm talking about pitch correction very quickly, it relates to that, of course. So I'll see you guys in a second.
Oh, hello.
So in Troll Corner for tonight, just one that I can remember because I didn't write them all down. Somebody said, and this relates to my video that I did on Home Free, somebody said that my video was BS. So yeah, I did reply to them. Actually, I wrote them a massive reply to try, because the person's message was really long, because there are some people who think, or they know a bit about it, but they don't know a lot about it. So their comment was really long. So it meant that I had to try and explain what they had got wrong in their comment that they think is right. So anyway, I mean, the fact that just saying my whole video is BS, I just replied to that saying it's actually the opposite, because I'm using objective data here to back up what I'm saying, to then come to the conclusion at the end of the video and during the video of pitch correction being used, because we can see it. We have the evidence. So we have the proof that it's being used. So yeah, it's the opposite of that accusation. Nothing is invented, made up. I haven't created the videos myself and then pretending that this was a live performance or this was a recording and I've made it up. It's out there. You can go and listen to it independently. It's literally taken from their official YouTube channel. So you can go and watch the video. You can click on the link that will take you to the exact video with the exact audio that I am analyzing. So yeah, it's literally factual, objective. So it can't be BS. But the other thing the person said was that the first thing we listened to was the recording, and they said that was 10 years after they performed live. And the other video, and this is the other thing, that I think in the comments she said that I should have chosen one of their other songs, but I've actually chosen the live performance to give the example of the fact that they can sing live. So rather than just focus on the pitch corrected vocals, but anyway, having this live performance in there as well, she said that was 10 years ago. So the reason it sounds pitch corrected is because over those 10 years they've improved that much that they're now that accurate pitch wise. And this is what I mean about somebody knowing a bit but not knowing that you can't do that you can't sing on these lines all the time. The best singers in the world, and singers who have trained their voices for not only 10 years, but their whole life. Pavarotti never sang on these lines one after the next, after the next, after the next. And he spent his life perfecting his voice. So it's not that's, once you start singing, you're not very accurate. And then when you get really good, everyone now sings on the lines if you've been singing for a long time. If anything, it couldn't be further from the truth. You start singing and then you get outside of these lines because of your control and your ability to hit pitches in relation to a sound and not a graph. So that's why great singers miss these lines. So anyway, I then tried to say maybe to look into equal temperament and just temperament and frequencies so that she could maybe understand how it works, and that what she's saying sadly doesn't make any sense, thinking that the better you get, the more mechanical you're going to sound. And it just reminded me of a video that I will be recording in the future, but I won't mention it here now. But it very much speaks to that whole thing of being great at singing and not being on lines. So that was Troll Corner. I think I'm trying to remember what else she said. It was a really long comment, but I tried to explain things as best I could, but it was just interesting. And again, she was a fan of Home Free, so I think a lot of the frustration is just her as a fan and people now seeing that it's pitch corrected and maybe not listening to the band for that reason. And sadly, that's just, I don't know, collateral damage. That if you are going to use it, if record labels are going to use it on artists, then if it's something that's been hidden and it's then revealed to an audience, I didn't do it. I'm just showing people what it is. I'm just showing them what it literally is. So there's a frustration, I think, to some fans of particular bands, artists, because they're frustrated at it being now something that people might not choose to listen to that band because of that reason. But the frustration should be at the artist, it should be at the record label, it should be at the producers, because they're the ones that did it. I'm not manipulating anybody else's performances. They are there. They have uploaded them themselves. The record labels uploaded them, and sadly, that frustration has to be at the artist. There's literally nothing I can do about it myself when other people are using pitch correction and I'm asked to look at that particular video, because I'm not going to just ignore it and pretend that it's great that they are so accurate pitch wise, when I know that it's not as accurate as we're seeing, because it's not actually the voice that was created in the first place. We're hearing the result of the pitch correction. So anyway, thank you for that, F8 Tributo. So that is Troll Corner for tonight. Let's get the troll out of here, and I'll see you in a second. So I can see that we are at 8 minutes to midnight. So it means that we are looking for still quite a few thumbs up. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it would be massively appreciated if you could do that, because we're aiming for a new record of 415. So that is, it's a lot of likes. It would be a new record for a Tuesday night. At some point, we do have to plateau. And it might be tonight, but we will see. It is going to have to be a bit of a rush until the end of the live stream. I I was going to attempt to try and work out how many we needed, but it's going to be something like 60, maybe. Well, 60 would be 22, so take off 7, it's going to be 53. That's what I'm going with. That's what my brain's telling me. 53 more likes. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, that would be great if you haven't clicked on that yet. Right, we will jump into tonight's cover video. And it looks like we're going to be having a listen to a bit of Johnny Be Good. And this is from Back to the Future, my version of that particular performance that Marty McFly does. And I had to listen out really closely in the movie because sometimes there's talking that happens over the top and then you can't quite hear in the background what's being played. So I had to try and figure it out very closely to see exactly what was being played. But here's my version of it. I did change the end of it to kind of keep it in key at least, rather than going too crazy like Marty does in that movie. But let's get into it, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock. Okay, Back to the Future version of Johnny Be Good. Let's do this. Rock.
Way back up in the woods among the evergreens, stood a log cabin made of earth and wood. Lived a country boy named Johnny Be Good. He never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play the guitar just like ringing a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go, Johnny Be Good.
And there we have it. A little bit of Johnny Be Good for tonight. And coming from, I don't know, one of my favourite movies, maybe, or at least a series of movies. I have said before that the final Back to the Future movie I probably haven't watched as many times as number 1 and 2. But, and this is another thing that I'm hoping that they don't redo it. That there's this trend nowadays to remake movies that were good in the first place. And, oh, this is something that, probably not a good example, but I quite like the film Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I like the story, and it's quite funny at the end. I know it's not supposed to be funny, but it's quite funny at the end when they are... spoiler alerts, if you haven't seen Total Recall, even though it's an old movie now, probably from the 80s. If you haven't seen it, then close your ears. Not that it's one of those movies that everyone can't believe the twist at the end. It's not famous for that. But anyway, when they're on Mars and their masks break and their faces go all funny, it shouldn't be funny, but it kind of looks a bit funny. And then the fact that their faces just go back to normal afterwards, that's a little bit even funnier. But anyway, the remake of Total Recall, it had Kate Beckinsale, I think her name is, in it. And, there's a guy, I don't know his name, but I recognise him from other movies. He's been in lots of other movies. But anyway, they did away with the whole Mars thing. And most of the storyline that I liked, in the remake, they just redid it. And it's like, well, yeah, but that wasn't the original story. So why change that? Maybe they're on a budget and couldn't think of a way to do a Mars thing. But I liked the original movie. So when they redid it, I thought, I'll watch that. And then it kind of was nothing like the original one that I liked. So yeah, I watched it once and then that was it. So I'm hoping that they don't do a remake of Back to the Future, because how would you make it any better than that? I know that there's a remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp, and yeah, I wasn't really into that because, again, when I was a kid, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was one of those movies. I think any movie that you watch as a kid kind of sticks with you, and as you're an adult, even though other adults watching a kid's movie, but it's not even really a kid's movie, it's a little bit spooky, a little bit weird. And there is a scene in it when they're going through the tunnel in the boat where you see a chicken get its head chopped off. So I think, well, that's a bit borderline. I don't really want to see that kind of thing, especially from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So it's a bit disturbing. But anyway, yeah, remaking that film is so difficult to outdo the original, because the original for me was just on that right level of being a little bit light-hearted but still a bit disturbing. It's kind of getting that balance, so they did that really well. I didn't really get that from the remake, and I believe that there's been another, I saw it somewhere, another Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie being made. So it's almost like they're going to keep on making it until you do it as well as the original. Or you try and improve on the original, which I think is impossible anyway. So yeah, the constant remakes of films I'm not particularly a fan of, but hopefully they leave Back to the Future alone, because yeah, it's just something that I don't think can be done any better. And at that time, the visual effects, even though they weren't amazing when you look back at them, they're still pretty good. And the way that they've filmed it all, and they filmed the second film at the same time as the first film, so that it all works the other way round. So yeah, it's very clever. So anyway, back to tonight. It is now back to tonight rather than the future. It is 1 minute past midnight, and we are at 389 likes. So that means that we're looking for 26 likes. I don't know whether we're going to make it tonight. Final spike of the likes, maybe. If you can hit that thumbs up, that would be great if you haven't done that already, because then we'll have a Phil Jam at the end of the live stream. But I think it's going to be touch and go, because obviously to have the Phil Jam, we've got to hit the target for the likes goal before the end of the live stream. If we do it right at the end, then we won't have time for the Phil Jam. So there you go, 25 more people in that live chat room. That's what we're looking for, to hit that thumbs up. So see if we can drum up some likes. Right, we've got a little bit of time, maybe, while I'm just thinking, while we're waiting let me actually have a look at the backing track. Okay, the backing track's 9 minutes and 41 seconds. So that would mean that we'd have to hit the target pretty soon in order to have the Phil Jam. So it's literally a case of minutes is that we've got if we're going to fit this in before the end of the live stream. We try to finish at midnight. That's the time that is allotted for these live streams with the moderators. So we're looking for 15 more people. So it's almost like we need some kind of a crowd chant to get people to move along in the live chat room and hit the thumbs up. So, Corey says riff of the week. I haven't set up the screen capture, but maybe I can do... Oh, let's go into Picture Corner. That's something that we can do that's a little bit maybe more important, because I have to do that on each live stream rather than them carry over onto the next one and potentially forget to do one. So, first of all, this is the only one that's going to be. So, first of all, and last, but by no means least, we have... I don't know if this is going to even show up on screen. I'm going to take a gamble. And it has shown up on screen. There we go. This has been sent in by Kevin. So thank you for this, Kevin. And the message is, John Mellencamp Way, Interstate 65 South, like the M1 in London, a major highway about an hour drive from Indianapolis at John's hometown of Seymour, Indiana. So thank you for that, Kevin. And when you say a major highway, we call them motorways here in the UK, but the M1 in London... Oh, while I was reading that, it just popped into my head that I don't even know what this is, but there's a comedy show that is over in the USA that was called, and I don't know whether it's still going now, but it was called The Californians. And I think it was not even a comedy show. It was part of maybe a show, and it might be Saturday Night Live or something like that. So there's a sketch show, effectively, like that. The reason I'm thinking of it is because Kevin said Interstate 65 South, like the M1 in London, a major highway about an hour's drive from Indianapolis. There's a particular scene, and it's just an outtake, really, where this guy comes in and he's... Oh, what's the guy's name? It's something like Devon. That might be his name. He says, "What are you doing here?" But I don't know how Californians talk. It might be like that, it might not. But this is what they're doing in this particular sketch. And she says, "Why are you home so early?" And then he said, "Oh, because I jumped from that and I took that all the way up to the, to the 9th and then went over to the 15th." And he goes into all of these things. But the reason that it's funny is because they start laughing and they can't get through this sketch. And they actually do get through the sketch, but they're laughing all the time because it's so ridiculous. So anyway, that is the... that's what I just thought of when I was reading that out. And I can see that with all of that babbling and me just wasn't ranting, my brain is trying to say rabbling, but that isn't the word. It's rambling on. Is that it? I don't know. I'm now second guessing myself. We have hit tonight's new record of 415. So we are going to be having the Phil Jam. And I'm going to have to grab the guitar straight away because we need to fit it in before the end of the live stream. And I am going to zoom out. So that there. This here. I haven't even... I'm going to turn on the mic. Have I done everything? I am going to go over here, click on the track, advert, mute the advert, play that. Okay, are we live? Okay, yeah, it sounds like we're live. Let's skip the advert. Right, this is modern rock backing track with chords, scales, and arpeggios. E Dorian C Lydian, and this is from Q Jan Tracks, capital Q, capital J, capital T, all one word. And as you guys know, we don't do the scales and arpeggios and modes and Dorians and Lydians here. We're just gonna have a listen and see what it sounds like and see if we can make a sound that goes with it. As for levels, let me know how it sounds, and we'll adjust it as we go. Let's have a listen. We're quite heavy here. kind of predicted the change there, so got away with it, which is nice. Okay, from what I can see. See what happens. Check how long we got left. Okay, we've still got like 4 minutes. This is quite nice, lots of changes in there. Okay, I mean, we've got to be getting close to the end. 20 seconds! Ah! It's a fade out, ladies and gentlemen. So not a lot we can do with the ending there, unfortunately, but there we go. There's that was tonight's Phil Jam, which was quite good. We did have some changes in there, a little bit of light and shade. Obviously a very long one, but yeah, we had to introduce some wah-wah at some points to make it a little bit more interesting. But there we have it. Thank you guys for joining me tonight and hitting the thumbs up, because it's allowed us to have that Phil Jam, but also means that we've hit a new record for Tuesday night live streams. So thank you for that. It just means that next week we're going to need everybody to turn up again, because we're going to be having a new attempt at a record. So we will see what happens there. Of course, I'm going to be live streaming on Saturday night as well, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, as always. So yeah, hopefully I can see you there. If you guys can make it, that's where I will be. And again, Saturday is going to be a new record attempt for the Lycometer. So we'll have to see how we do on Saturday, even though tonight's been absolutely amazing. New record again. I don't know how many live streams in a row it's been now, but probably, I don't know, 5 or 6. So thank you guys for tuning in for these live streams, hitting the thumbs up, commenting, and of course, thank you for the donations as well. Even though you don't have to donate, they are massively appreciated. So all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Thank you, Diamond Girl, for that $2 donation, saying awesome jam tonight. Thanks. So thank you for the kind words and that donation. But yeah, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. And I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!